Have you ever felt like a woman was testing you inside a relationship, questioning maybe something you did, what you said, how you did it, and for a moment you think, what did I do wrong? Many men experience this, but very few understand what's happening. It can feel like conflict, it can feel like criticism, but that's not really what it is happening. What's happening is actually a subconscious process for the woman. Subconsciously, it is just a security check. She's checking, can I rely on you emotionally? Can you stay calm under pressure? And can you handle disagreement without aggression? What many men don't understand, what looks like a test, is just a desire for emotional safety. Many people come into a relationship and they come with past relationship trauma. They come from past traumas, past pain, past disappointments. They come with their own unresolved issues. And therefore, in a subconscious level, they're testing the ground because the brain works with association. And they test to see if you're going to react the same as their previous partner, because then they know, oh, this is not safe. Or they test to see if you're going to react maybe like their father or other situation in childhood, because it gives them like a check-in. Am I safe? Am I not safe? What she might be testing subconsciously is inconsistency, withdrawal, rejection, abandonment. She's testing to see, can she feel safe? Can she open up? Can you hold space? Can you be there for her? Or are you going to react the same way as her ex did? Subconsciously, she's looking to see if there's a pattern, because we are creatures of patterns and habits. And she's looking to see, do you have a pattern of a previous relationship? And then her head says, oh, it's going to end the same way, or I need to handle this guy the same way as I have handled my ex. Or can I handle it differently? A part of her psyche just wants to protect her from this wound. Is it really different, or is it the same? Because I've seen that many people go into a different relationship having the same experience. And subconsciously, I think that is what she's checking. Can she let her armor down? Is she safe? Can she just be? It is important to realize we all carry trauma with us. And if you don't work through your trauma, and if you don't process your trauma, you take your trauma with you. And then sometimes you're not even dealing with her. You're actually dealing with a past trauma she went through, which she might projecting onto this relationship or might projecting onto you. You're not the same guy she dated before, but a part of her subconscious is still protecting her from the previous guy, even though she's in a new relationship. And it's happening because she haven't processed the past relationship. And that is where projection comes in. It's still a wound to heal, but if you can hold a space for her, then you also help her subconsciously to realize this is not a past relationship. And then she can distinguish the current relationship from the past relationship, because it's not the same. But if you're going to handle it the same way as the ex did, then she's going to treat you and react in the same way she did with her ex. So by holding space and by being grounded, you can actually help her to work through her own trauma as well. But this is exactly where many men go wrong. Their egos come in the way. Then they want to prove a point. They want to prove they're right. They want to be in control of the situation. They go into competition with her instead of holding the space for her. And that is what creates a power struggle. And when there's a power struggle, neither parties are feeling safe. And then we usually react and handle situations and deal with conflict through our past woundings. And then you handle a situation not correctly, not calmly, not grounded. And then what you can do, you bring up all your old stuff. It triggers all your old wounds and it triggers all her old wounds. And then you just create woundedness inside the relationship. And we create woundedness in the way we treat someone, the words we say, our behavior. And then there's even more wounds inside the relationship. And then many times she will test you even more to see, is this a reality or was just this a once-off reaction? And many times now it starts to spiral, because every time there's that intense reaction, no one is actually feeling safe. Neither you, neither her. And just like she can taste you subconsciously, you will taste her. The correct thing to do is actually to stay grounded, because groundedness creates safety. She can only get a reaction if you give her one. But you can't get a reaction if you stay grounded. It always takes two to tango, even in conflict. But if you can stay grounded, create that emotional safety without reacting, then her own wounds is still her wounds. And then she will have to deal with her own wounds. And she will realize this relationship is not equal to a past relationship. This is something special. And then it gives her permission to deal with her own woundedness and to face her own demons. Because then you are a mirror to her to help her to see what is hers without blame, without shame. And then hopefully she can just take accountability and step into her power. Because we need emotional safety to step into our power fully, especially in a relationship. Because when we feel emotionally safe, we can be vulnerable, we can be real, we can be authentic. And then we discover who we truly are. Because who we are is actually special. But our own traumas and our own wounds blocks us to see and to experience who we are. The goal was never to win. The goal was to stay grounded, to hold space, to listen, to be present, not to be reactive, but to respond in a healthy way, so that she can feel heard, she can feel seen, she can feel understood. Then her defenses start to drop, and she starts to open up on a new level of consciousness. By staying grounded, you give her a message that you can stay calm under pressure, that you don't become reactive, you don't escalate into fights and victimization and blaming and shaming, and that you are steady, and that she can trust. So if you ever feel tested inside the relationship, the goal is not to control the situation. The goal is to remain steady, because steadiness creates trust and creates a consistency. And that is how you can build trust on an emotional level. And that trust automatically creates emotional safety. In the next video, we're going to look at something many men misunderstand: the difference between ego and confidence. See you in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for your support.